Who went to the store?
Wait. You see the thing that.
Ali, Klaus, Ali, and Björn, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, probably they went with the Björn's car.
Yeah.
The big Volvo.
Yeah.
Man, that's beautiful car. You know, we
They have that.
came there to rental and that
think
was
so,
kind of
I
the
think.
only left. So they gave us an upgrade. When we saw our upgrade, we were like, this is nice upgrade.
Yeah, we also actually got an upgrade. We would have also had a smaller car, so the Octavia is already an upgrade. Because we were supposed also not to just take Ali, but also to take boxes for the Christmas tree, but then somehow managed to get it in the other car.
Oh, and you got collect Onano. You were supposed to go with that. I think. Yes, that's how I understood it. Did you bring Onano?
No, just Ali.
Oh, seriously? How did Onano then come?
No idea.
Because we were calling from the rental, we need to collect the... Oops. Yeah, these are some fancy things. Yeah, this is no, I'm gonna know what it is. I don't know what it is.
So, forecast is if they're not back anytime soon, we'll move lunch to Surya Plus or so.
I don't know. I'm trying to
schedule for today's lunch.
the curry.
Yeah,
Lunch and chicken curry.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but this is Thursday? Wednesday?
Wait,
You're
I'm so confused. You wrote the schedule.
Yeah, that's why it's...
No, but here it's PM.
Yeah,
Wednesday lunch, chicken hot pot.
Chicken hot pot. You are a chicken hot pot.
I'm going to take that as a great compliment.
No, with that camera, we all look like a chicken hot pot. We look like, I don't know what. Imagine somebody looking at this data, so they must be wondering later on, what was in their head, you know, like to...
I think, it's really going to turn out to be a study on what happens when you squeeze people's heads with the camera strap for a day.
Hey, that's why I was tired yesterday.
That's why we have a control group without cameras, right?
Yes. And the result is impaired brain function.
I'm not joking, yesterday evening I had brain fog. This thing is too tight.
This was not a camera.
We got kicked out, man, from a bar. We had what, 2 Guinnesses?
Yeah. Sure.
For our capacity, that's like...
Was there leftover rice?
Yes.
Where is it?
Fridge.
It's in the fridge.
Where else would it be?
Yes, that's what I'm asking.
And I think most people didn't finish second even. There was quite some
Was
things
it
left.
over? I didn't hear it. I think.
That lady was really in a hurry to leave.
Very good.
Yeah.
You had entire day to come to my park, and you appear at till about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think she said it as a joke or so.
German Lusination.
She was nice. She's quite capable actually. She's doing everything by herself.
Yeah. Well, I guess you need to, when you live out here, you need to do them yourself.
Vì làm
I mean, I've never seen somebody left, right, you know. She did the cleaning also later and everything.
Yeah, of course.
gì cả bóng rát.
Very capable. And I think she's also not that young now, maybe 60.
500 điểm thêm nào anh?
Maybe, yeah.
Ủa, phải nếm hay khi đi
Bố ấy, bố cái. Yes.
You won't
Yeah.
find the stuff in Amsterdam.
so deliberate
Kind of wonder,
yeah.
why am I doing this?
No.
Overqualified?
Yeah, but I mean, there's...
Most people think they're overqualified for everything. If you give them my job, they would probably think I'm overqualified.
40.
Never. Yeah, it's just like some videos.
47 là 101, 101 với 7 là
Yeah.
88.
Where is it?
You like it?
Vẫn hay.
Uncompressed
Bao
decompressed.
nhiêu?
Can we
Ủ ghê ấy.
210.
I'm supposed to
I-
be
I
really
know.
nice, probably everybody thinks,
I had an experience.
You wanna ready?
Because we were
I'm really bad at that.
Yeah.
a very, very
It's easy.
capable student who was just finishing.
No,
No,
you.
actually, no. Oh.
You are very bad at that. Okay.
You convinced me. Yeah.
I'm really bad at that.
Oh yeah.
No, honestly, I'm
No,
good
it's really-
for some reason.
I think you should probably not throw any further. I don't think it gets better.
Yeah.
Yes, I got that chapter. Doing that thing.
So speaking of master students, you would have seen immediately that the master was
On.
Taco Pope. This
Uh-huh.
master student of Max.
Wow.
Used to be.
No. Hey.
With the really cool things.
80, 180.
That, Paul McCoy. And also with PhD related. You just see somebody.
80.
Yeah, at the master's level it was very cool.
Yeah.
He's made for good stuff.
Yeah.
Euro.
Mình tám rồi.
7 rồi.
Can I try?
Okay. You're
Yes.
not allowed to play.
Okay.
Right.
You can play with Gabon on Christmas tree.
No. I didn't do it.
Doesn't count.
Oh my god,
Ah,
that I
the
got
food is
this.
around.
Get back.
Yeah, I think it does.
No, nobody go to the door. No.
Hey, somebody, Laura.
I think the other went. I would have gone if he hadn't been on his way
No.
already.
No, I'm too bad at this. Hey. You just put me out 80 to 30.
This is incredibly relaxing.
Yeah.
Not quite 100, but
I'm not sure if you like
Do it
it.
again.
how reproducible is this?
Everything is ready for running for.
Hey, boss.
Everything is ready for the oven.
Let's go, boss.
Yes, let's go. We go to the oven. Thank you,
Let's
thank you, boss.
go. Let's go.
Hello.
Hey, boss.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
Vegetables,
Super.
carrots,
You're not using the weak oven, right? Only the hot oven.
We got another 235 euros.
235 euros.
What? We went shopping. Yeah, what have you been doing?
Did you get cheese?
We got lots of cheese.
Oh god.
Why? Ali,
What? Why are you giving me this?
you wanted it
No, you didn't
for your
want-
house. You said you only have one left. No, not this
That
one.
is dishwashing.
Hey, boss.
Dishwashing hammer.
Let me in here.
This one is for the dishwasher.
Yes,
The
for the
ladies,
dishwasher.
Björn, the ladies
That's for the
of the
dishwasher.
house,
I'll make it up.
you know.
Got the big one through here. That's only has 18. That's not gonna work. This is the big one. Dishwasher salt.
Yep.
I'll start doing stuff out here.
Yeah. Like that one.
No.
Never
Put on the camera.
You know, I need a kitchen like this, you know.
Ok.
Come on.
Em hỏi Luca luôn hỏi bố mày không đem đủ đồ cho 4 người bao nhiêu ngày cũng vậy.
Mua đó.
Yeah. Có cái đâu chị sụp lên cô vậy?
And we need a throw inside.
Cái gương này nó dính gì?
Mùa dạ rồi tối giặt.
The relatives.
We got fantastic cards.
Yeah, it's over there.
After I was letting, I was okay. It took me a while.
Wait a second. I should have looked at it. I got some missed call from.
40.
Yeah, you get
From
some
around
crazy.
the voices.
Where can
I
I
looked at the
get?
phone. Is that an issue or? I looked at the phone.
If there's nothing in places, there's nothing comes
No,
back
just
there.
a missed call.
Yeah, I mean, I also looked at the texting class. but it's just the exciting dialogue we had at Frankfurt Airport
I
where
just
to meet.
saw
So
missed call and a
Yeah.
green of the number or something.
So, do you have coffee? Anyone wants more coffee? Because I set up a fresh one. Because we'll
Just
need
took
more.
another one. Is this strong coffee or maybe I showed you the too much, no?
It's one I made, so it's stronger than Carol's.
Did you take one or this here first?
I did one and a half or so.
Okay.
But I'm kind of used to it, so.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you want to have it. I have these cousins that are used to proper Italian. And I'm making a regular machine grade office coffee. So if I overdo with their coffee, that's like a drama.
Yeah, today with Ali, because Ali is
Wait a second, let me see if someone important call.
No, it's in the other room. For the air. Yeah, but you don't want to put it in the fridge? Yeah.
Where's Jan? Come here.
But yeah, for sure that it's fine, yeah? Okay.
Anybody want towels washed? I'm gonna wash towels on camera.
I have like 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, bring them all down.
What you could, Carol,
Yo.
what you could do is some of the kitchen towels if you want.
Yeah, bring them all down.
Alright.
Yeah, what he says from here, but now we
Yes.
You say, it should be safe.
Yeah, so I'm very worried about the finish.
Yeah.
So it's still frozen?
Yes.
Good. Still frozen? Very good.
Confirmed.
And there are, so there, two of these croissants are maple something. Because they only had 10.
Okay.
We cleared out the regular
Yeah.
croissants completely.
Okay, but then we have enough, I guess.
I think we also finished all of the water.
Because Stefan was worried, but actually it turns out we have 2 of those croissants for everyone, and if you have those, then
Right.
more than that.
Right,
Yeah, great.
You had a real company.
Just like me.
What?
We are gonna make the news, you know why? If any crazy sees this data set and sees us coming there, then turn it on camera to synchronize with this
Yeah?
QR code, you know what's gonna happen? They're gonna put it. That's it! They're coming to synchronize chip in our brain and
Yes.
vaccine content. With the latest orders from
From high command.
High Command. Mothership is coming.
I mean, now that you mention it, I can tell you that I got a COVID booster vaccination just a week before coming here. So there must
So
be a connection.
5G is already there.
No, 6G.
6G.
His brain interface ready. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I said when I got the first vaccination. It's completely useless. I can't pay with the chip they injected me. I can't open my office store. So what is it for?
Yeah. What's it good for? Exactly.
I went to entire hospital, not once, multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right.
And I still have to use the phone to check 12 minutes for
Yeah.
for the oven. Probably I could be better to the oven if I knew how better.
Yeah. Right.
Let's put those croissants
No, I
on
don't
the
think I do as
plates.
much as possible.
Yes. Okay, so two of these croissants that are maple something.
And you know which ones?
Yeah, they look different.
The ones that
The
have,
one on top,
that
the
have
different
almonds on top,
Yes.
right? Okay, then I put them on a separate plate.
We cleared out all of the croissants and they had like four euros or something like this. So we did.
And how's the store? Is it regular? No, just
It
wondering.
had frozen peanuts at least, so.
You know, you make
If you search
That tells you
separately,
if it's a really high-end store, they have frozen spinach.
I mean it's the same place they went to earlier, right? And they didn't find it.
Yeah.
So basically they have it if you search separately, no?
Yeah.
So you may be laughing as much as you want, but for a place at the very edge of the continent,
Apparently,
is it really sugar? Because I was looking what it is.
Yes, it is.
It's only kind of wet.
Yes.
Can we use it or not?
Yes, sure. It's sugar.
Then I do it for the coffee.
apparently Ballyconneely is not entirely unknown to the Irish population.
Yeah.
It has a beach. People come here to the beach apparently.
Okay.
The way you presented me, this
Yes,
is like
I have a very important ask for you.
Ah.
Do you want to lick those things?
That's clean.
I have to do one. But somebody has to look at me, right?
We all look at you.
What's the other one? Great.
That changed the.
You can have another grandpa, you know. He's just looking at his
I grew up.
grandson and
I grew up doing this.
Stefan, here you go.
I have to reward sugar already. Give it to Werner.
Yes, on. We'll have to do anything with the time. We just turn it on and press go.
You off.
This is my first time turning it on.
Single time.
Oh, there is something.
No, but
No problem. You have
Power.
to try it. Unplug, turn it off, unplug, give it a bit, try again.
It's good stuff, but
It smells so good, Stefan. You're a chef.
This was IKEA action. You know?
Oh, yeah, one's for me.
What's
You
that?
take your shampoo. We have banana or we have
What is that, man?
banana shampoo.
Banana
cho
shampoo.
nói phần mới.
I've never seen it. It's like, good that you.
Klaus. I think Cahill takes the banana shampoo.
It's not on.
You can start laughing again.
Especially because
You chose that.
Am I
It's
on?
not on. It's not on. Turn on again.
Hey, come on, guys.
You didn't have enough yesterday.
Come on, guys. There was no pineapple left.
Single time here.
So we had to go bananas.
I'm not straight.
You should have.
Yeah, you should adjust.
Hey, it's good to move that. Cahill,
Yo.
move that shampoo from a kitchen. Somebody's gonna mistake it as a topping for pancakes or something.
Banana smooth.
Oh, hang on, Stefan. Stefan, did you get a shampoo? Boss, did you get a shampoo? I bought 3 shampoos. One was for him. You're done.
Pay attention.
Is that 12 seconds?
Nói chung là nó là một mix
Did you get a
giống
shampoo?
kiểu phở.
Yeah, yeah.
Đậu phở nhé.
Rau tùm lum mà. Rau cũng phở nước với lại anh Tiên bảo rồi là phải lóc xương ra đây. Không da đâu. Ta cũng không có
Chose what?
xương.
Oh no.
Kiểu da thì để cho nó
What? Gì?
nước thôi. Để nước nó
Chocolate.
cocoa.
Coconut.
I suggested coconut.
I think.
Coconut or banana?
Chocolate and banana.
Cocoa butter.
Cacao.
Coconut. Put it in your pocket.
Thank you.
Trong cái hãng nó làm đó chị gọi cho nó mấy lần nè.
Chồng của thằng em
Nó sao đó?
Yes, but this one is really confusing for some reason.
Mà cái rẻ với cái đó là cái nhỏ nữa nãy nó bán
Very
bình
different
thường
units.
mà.
It's just 0 to 6. All the other ones are with degrees. I'm assuming these are 0 to 6 degrees because it was so weak. Okay, so
temperature
đường.
of being foodborne. Yes.
It might be your
I
default.
made a mistake, I went to the room, but I guess it's okay. Did you ever go?
No.
If
You managed to, I went to the room by mistake.
But if
if
you-
there is nothing
That is nothing
You
embarrassing.
mean Mr. Leo?
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, okay.
Not sure what's not yet lying around in your
The world is
Stefan, if you didn't look at your hostages, then you're okay.
Okay, so that is
Okay. Does anybody want a towel washed?
no, no, wait a second, do we have the glove? Glove,
We have no.
No, take tablecloth.
Give me your towels.
Nothing.
Do we need to prepare more coffee?
Yes, I need for someone to drink that one, and then I prepare more.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I will do that.
Towel wash.
Perfect.
You got your own. You got your own.
But you know what's weird? These right ones are done,
Florian refused to swap
and the
them.
left ones are not very close.
Perfect, thank you.
Then move them over. Look at this. How is this possible? I said them the same, I think. This is incredible. So these ones are older than, and I was looking from there these, and they are not even any kind of.
Exactly, that's what I said. That one is useless.
Sure, they move it over.
Yep.
So let me then decrease this one a little bit.
Anybody else want fresh towels?
Is this okay?
I have three
What?
towels.
Is this okay?
Washed and dried towels. There's a towel service happening this morning.
You know what I mean?
I would
there
like
is-
that,
there
just
is-
because my towels are so damp and they're not drying properly.
Yeah, go
Say
first.
something. I
You're on
want you
camera.
to see, like what we were saying yesterday. Look at this. Look at this, they are not even breathing, and this one's older.
Okay,
I don't know what's wrong with this.
Okay.
No, no,
Camera work.
Yes, I will bring my towels.
Yeah, I just brought the
Anybody else want a towel washed?
But it's a cold brew, it's hot, but it's...
No, that's nobody wants towels washed.
Where do I bring the towels?
To me.
Excellent, I'll be right back.
Mark, because you'll need Mark. And then it depends if you do coffee Cahal style or real coffee. Depending on how much coffee you put in.
Ooh, proper coffee.
Yeah, I did it in the morning.
Over house style, apparently.
Somebody's phone ringing.
Somebody's phone is
Did you
ringing.
get coffee as well? I'm not the one left.
Yes, look at this.
Ah, there you
This
go.
one's, they don't, I was looking at this. Look at this. Nothing. No, they didn't start. And these ones are done totally. So this side doesn't work anything.
On the left?
Yeah, it works, but very slowly.
Okay,
Actually, I think it may be related also to what we noticed with some of these. This one, for example, is very crispy, remember?
yeah.
You want to play?
Sure, sure.
I'm first prize.
That's good.
First prize.
Especially over.
You wanna go first?
200 euros.
Yeah, versus 40 euros. Because the old espresso machines were not
Well, it was
automatic, but
late.
you have to grind coffee and put it in, and that's a lot of work. Yeah.
Easier being like
Yeah,
very
yeah.
strong coffee.
If you're not asked for it, and I fully support that.
One type of contract. So, but if you want to play cards, then
It smells so good.
Yeah, so, but we didn't use
what games do you play?
original spices, not the pre-mixed.
Yeah? No, I mean, we don't have any traditional card games.
Everybody will have cornflakes.
That's what I did.
Any Anybody? Anybody?
Six different types of colors.
Okay.
And, yeah, you get 65 points.
Okay. So it's a different deck.
You want me to put them on the table?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you mean like
Leave
them, yes.
So we had a.
You want to eat them straight out of the box?
Rummy,
Yeah.
Like this. You know this?
That's the only way.
So we have to use the sequences or matching things. Alright? So let's see if we're talking about the same game.
I think it's a very long time ago I played that probably.
So you can
You need to remember me.
so you can put down so the goal is to get
Oh, you just lost.
and every
Oh,
turn
I just
you
lost.
have to draw one.
Yeah.
You have to put down one. And
Yeah,
in
that's
between
fine.
you may put down either sequences of same suit.
Oh, you want to
Or
play
you
chess?
can put down like
I don't know how to
three
play.
suits.
I think just at the end, whoever wins
Why do you
basically get the points left on their.
Who's first?
No, sorry.
That's not the rule
You
now.
get the points here,
Yeah,
but
take
then you
them.
just count normal. Yeah. Like you just count so 10 is a 10, Jack is 11, and so on. And then you subtract whatever you have.
Okay. But if I put down 3, 4,
2 red, 40, yes, that's just 12.
just one. And
Oh.
the extra 4, 5, 6, but it must be the same color. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Same suit it is.
You got to go again, came back
Okay,
in.
and I start with.
Yes, you start. You have to draw.
Draw first.
Always draw and always put down.
Okay.
No chance. Not bad.
And I think so. I think twos. The deuces are.
Yes!
So you can use them. The wild card. So you can use them for anything.
The 2 is a wild card.
Yes. So the way you have to play, you cannot actually put down on the first round. So neither of us can put down the first round. So it doesn't. But so just to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but then you have to end up by putting a card down.
Aha, here.
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
And you can draw. So the option are you can draw one from here. You can take the top card, or you can take the entire.
Okay, somebody else
Very,
go
very
first.
bad.
Unorthodox, strong.
Alright.
Let's leave.
Let's try. Can we manage to make enough space? And we lost 2 pawns. Oh no, one of them grew up.
And if you put something down and you have one more card that matches, you can put down extend on your card. Right. So now you can do it. Yes.
This is, I think, couples multi-tool.
I think it is actually my multi-tool.
You don't think it's yours?
I think it is.
So
Oh yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure.
So
You brought it
right.
anyway.
So I can extend yours.
So you can extend mine also.
Yes. Yes. And then this is
That's
for
what you're this
and okay, well. And basically the rule was that counting
Like go
count the
as
two
well.
suits here.
Go!
Put it on your
That
hand
would
and
take
really?
You know how to play
Because
Go?
they're white card. Because if you
Go,
leave
I
them,
don't know.
if you haven't used them,
Who's throwing stuff at me?
It's just like chess. You have to play. It's
maybe
not that hard, but no, you have to
but
win.
this one is basically
I don't mind.
on
I don't
the
remember.
table is two.
Wait, the rooks go where and the horses go where? Or the knights?
No, but okay. Here.
So these are the rules.
Blue somewhere?
There was a glue. There was a glue.
Twins in our
The glue.
various
It might be on the table. It might be on the table.
and they did
There
this.
was a glue. I saw the glue. I think it's in here.
So the king always, I think, goes on the color that
down, of course. Normally
So
around
the
zero.
white king goes on the white, I think. And
How many
I
cards?
could be wrong. It could be the
It's
other
okay.
side around,
It's okay.
Three.
but you
It's gonna
know.
be a really fun time where they play with the long words.
Close enough.
Okay, you can go first.
I can go first.
Because you're white.
That's true.
In real life,
Yes,
in
yes,
chess.
The
there is if you put down like
Injustice
everything,
prevails.
if you close by
Wait, what do I want?
If you
Took
close,
something out tomorrow.
if you close
yesterday
by
on-
emptying your hand completely, that would give like a 50 bonus.
No.
They don't pay the price. And you
I'm
can
gonna
only
read
put
first.
down the same height if there are at least three.
At least 3, yeah. So you can always only put that 3. And like 3 is the minimum.
Let's go.
Now you can always put down whatever.
So, and I can also use this.
Yes, you can. Now, for me, as a strategy, okay, there you go, yes.
They run it.
Yes. Alright, so I can say, if you couldn't finish, then I would not use the wild card.
Yes.
Because I would keep it as an option for extending, because you might get, you might get 9, 10, you might get the jack here,
Yes.
and then 2 wild cards would actually
Okay.
work, right, but it doesn't matter. Yes, nice, good.
Also, later.
Nice.
This is apparently not a thing.
It extends nicely to 3 for people.
So it might be a Germanic.
Beyond that, you start to run out of time. The most fun is when you have a stack and you get everything, because then you can, even if you lose the game, you can sometimes get lots and lots and lots of points.
Oh, I see.
It's not a hard game.
You can actually pay off.
Yeah.
What do you think is hard for?
Check the color on the top.
Put down one.
So it's absolutely not hard.
You don't know anything. You don't know anything about my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Olympic.
Turn on the camera. Sometimes I do very badly.
Yeah.
Look at his camera.
Look at the camera. It's not it doesn't have a picture, right?
Front. Yeah, but it's in reflection.
Oh, right. And of course we should turn that. You see it? But we should do this, right? It's
No, I didn't even do that one.
I guess you're ready for breakfast?
Okay.
Oh, great. Okay.
No,
Let's trade.
breakfast.
I don't remember which is better, the bishop or the knight.
You just finished. Ah,
There's
down.
a let's go.
Okay.
Oh, breakfast.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah. My turn, my turn.
Rook.
Wait, that one was still alive. I did not manage to take your rook from all the way back there. That would be very impressive, I think.
It's a rotation.
Almost not here.
Sorry, there are 2 seats that have
Oh, where is the other one?
No, you have milk.
You're right, you know. Chilled orange juice. Make them comfortable. I feel like concentrate just means this is already pre-mixed.
In this country,
Because I
Watch this one.
You can check the video. Basically, the goal is to get rid of the cards. You can put down like rows of suits, so like 4, 5, 6 in the same color, or you can put down like 5, 5, 5 in different colors. Always at number 3. 2s are wild, and then you always have to draw. You also have to put down the card.
Get the comically oversized
And then
pack of cornflakes.
Actually, thought people would want it.
whoever gets rid of the cards first. That's the rough idea.
No.
Now we had many short games so far, and now it's a longer one. And you can draw one here, one from the top, or you can take the whole stack.
And now he's doing it. Oh my god!
That was the kind I needed. Good. I also explained the rules, right? So yes. So this game is indestructible. Butter and cheese.
Oh, we have a cheese. Shall I cut some cheese? You're the hardest person to get at. Stay where you are. Yes. Okay, sit down, sit down. Hey, but you need some cheese, maybe. Cheese and butter.
Cheese and butter.
Cheese and nice apple. Yeah. So just like bring the cheeses and one board for cutting in a knife. They are in the door, you know.
IKEA.
IKEA.
They're from IKEA?
No,
They're from IKEA.
Someone sent me the request.
They come with the screws and everything.
No,
Minimal is
get the butter for yeah. Perhaps might be this.
I didn't know what to do till you're back, so I put probably totally unnecessary.
So here's the butter.
You do it there.
That's a good scratch.
Yeah,
Yes, totally. Some cheese. And do we have a board for cutting? Maybe board for cutting, like the plastic board?
Yeah.
Awesome. French gruyere. Oh,
There's more IKEA cheese.
Okay.
You know, before you open that one, maybe you want to use the one that's
Yeah, totally.
I did not think that you were serious when you said you bought more cheese, but now we have. I think if we only had the cheese, we would not.
Oh, this is IKEA cheese, yeah?
There's no calories.
No, I carried
Last a whole day.
It's very good.
I think.
I cannot find any more.
Oh no, there is.
Okay.
Because eating together.
All going to be cheese. We're converging towards cheese. We're eating as a bit of everything, but the cheese replenishes much faster than the rest.
This is not really the best knife for this, but... Did he go?
Okay, good.
Yeah, this one is also good.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. I see.
Saved.
No.
You have 2 each.
So I'm cutting some trees for whoever wants.
Thank you.
I'm about to cut my trees.
You need to cut one.
Yeah, I know. Different types of cheese. Yeah. That went fast. I should have said till I'm done.
Yeah.
Angry seagulls / scavengers.
Yeah.
I think we have probably a better knife for this somewhere, but this will be with this cheese. Let's take some out.
So this is some
Vintage cheddar.
pecan maple
Yeah, vintage cheddar.
things. These two.
Oh,
Pecan maple.
maybe
AI. Maybe bring a knife and we split it, or you?
I mean, we can just split it.
More vintage cheddar coming. Vintage cheddar. Oh, this is very vintage.
What's that cheese?
What do they mean by vintage? Somebody forgot it for a few seasons.
Is that here though?
Yeah.
Okay, good thing.
Cheese,
I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot that I was guessing.
It's basically vintage storage of that cereal.
But it's maple, right?
Oh, there is this cheese that we forgot from 10 years ago. Let's kind of let's call it vintage and declare it the future. You
You know the big ones each?
Yeah.
know? So, guys,
Did you manage to win it?
Yes. No, we have another cheddar.
Oh, maybe you can put it here also.
Yeah, we can leave it here. Yeah, we can put it in this is
For in
big
around.
too far, because it's very full, so be careful.
Yes.
pulling it.
then we have also Gardines. Gardines. Oh, this is some Irish milk.
Any coffee? Oh, no.
Oh, this one is.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
Guys, I think cheese.
Boss?
Yes.
No, I thought he was some
Who's speaking?
Bjorn.
I don't know.
No?
I didn't say
Yeah, put it here and I'll
No, not this one. Yeah.
Bjorn has something to say?
Oh, please be
He already said something like, I will try to translate. It sounded like,
So officially the workshop for today has now begun.
Yeah.
Our task for today is as follows. We must decide on what is the appropriate task for a grand challenge at ACM Multimedia, and we will consider a hackathon as well, but multimedia is a key thing today. We were given the money by Siga Man. They requested that we run something that's like VBS or LSC, or VBS and LSC actually, at ACM Multimedia. Get together, figure it out, do it.
It has to be interactive.
You didn't say that, but since they said it has to be like, it should be like VBS / LSC, it probably is something with an interactive element to it. Data set release, bit of training data, maybe a closed workshop and a public open session. Right? That is what I think is gonna, I think it's gonna happen. And so look for something that's not the obvious. Release a data set, set a date, get people together, run a challenge, do some topics, Q&A and ad hoc, let's see what happens. That's the default approach. Is there something you want to do that's better or more novel than that? Does anybody have any ideas? Let's worry about the challenge first and the hackathon.
One question is, does the challenge have to have one single task or could it be multiple ones?
Yeah. It's up to us. There's a workshop, and no, I imagine there will be an associated workshop and a grand challenge tied to the workshop.
Because I think there have,
I vote multiple.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was also thinking like, I mean, given the bias we'll have in the data set, There is a lot of research on multimedia for cooking and eating. So basically, one task would be basically do whatever you have on your data set and just test it on this data set. Don't use any training data from this data set. See how this transfers to new data. And of course, I guess you want to do something like more LSC style interactive queries. I mean, from the backlog of things that we want to do is one thing that we always for VBS also had was trying to see how precisely you phrase queries or how simple you keep the language. There's always this tension between use simple words that everyone understands versus being precise. So that might be something also to study, but this is of course needs comparison. So either you split it at 2 groups. If we have enough participants, that will work, but we don't know in advance probably.
Because I think we should like do a hybrid benchmark for everyone to compare them when they make a new idea. But for annual competition, we should like change the task to new one and motivate them to create a new idea or change their method to compete with other teams. So yeah, that's my idea.
The usual grand challenge formats, which I think we should stick to at least for the part that we label as grand challenge, is an asynchronous operation. You get your data, you get your task, you get your time to process, you do whatever it is you think you need to do to solve the task, you send in your results, you get your scores back, and there's going to be result presentation of everybody or the top scoring teams.
So it's not very alike to LSE and VBS.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Doesn't have to
something
be live.
we can do on top of this. That we have a session where something happens live. But
I think that's what they literally asked us. I mean, that's one thing that makes this format very unique, this interaction. And why is it kind of, I think, interesting that we look at some form of interaction in the age of these conversational systems, because these are conversational systems been from the beginning.
So we can do some kind of data mining where they build a system, more like exploration system, and then at a challenge we will have very specific questions for that. For example, regarding group dynamics, so they will have to build a system that can visualize the group dynamics and show some kind of interaction that more and very user experience based. And then at the challenge we ask some question live, and then you have to use the system to answer that. It's like who did I talk to the most today or something like that. But these questions are only released at the challenge live.
Yeah, so I would just not limit it to something like this, because the barrier of entry for these sort of things is very high. Right? So you need a complete stack to be able to do this interaction.
Asynchronous and synchronous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just give out some tasks, people can put some algorithms together however they want. It only needs to run exactly once on whatever resources they might have, and they can produce those results. Right? This might not cover all the things, but it is certainly for some interesting tasks. It might be entirely sufficient that they can build the thing, it runs on whatever they have. It will take a while to run, we'll produce some output, we will look at the output and tell them how well they did.
So something that has a low barrier to entry, asynchronous submissions take part in the grand challenge, but there is an interactive element to the grand challenge, which is to a workshop, which is somehow different than a hackathon.
And I guess the hackathon should have all the things we can not evaluate, whereas there either we don't have a ground truth, or there cannot be a ground truth because there is some ambiguity there. Whereas the challenges should have a clear mechanism by which you can tell, okay, how much of this you got right.
We kind of do this with NTCIO, right? That email I send out periodically to everybody worse. We kind of do this with NTCIO, where we do have this asynchronous challenge. You build your system, you give me the queries, which we've got to look at. We release the queries. The queries are more descriptive than an LSE query. It has a title, a description, and then a narrative that says, eating breakfast is relevant only if it includes Werner. There's some description like that makes it very, very clear. And people do that in their own time. By a certain date, they submit the runs. We pool all people's runs together and generate a ground truth. We don't evaluate everything. It's not a complete ground truth, it's a pooled ground truth. So it's never going to be perfect, but it's going to be sufficient to differentiate systems. That we can do not a lot. Okay, that's simple. We do not a lot. The challenge here is that it's probably a bit more difficult data to work with, but that's great. Then we can do some really interesting interactive things in the workshop, where the queries are different, like some kind of, really there's this interaction queries we have as well. The time I was talking to Ali about the NTCR query we haven't yet released. What was the outcome of that conversation? Those kind of things, much nicer things to do. And that's really interesting, I think, for an interactive challenge. Not just find it.
But this is a different. This is also somewhat difficult to evaluate because I mean you need to phrase this very precisely because what was the outcome of this conversation is not something that has a precise answer.
But that's what we do with the judges, right? The judges make decisions in
yeah, but currently what we have is like the judges get something that is a very short answer with some degrees of freedom, but if you would like ask for outcome of our conversation, you could write a paragraph on that.
Yeah, okay, we limit the, like we do this with the Q&A things already. What airline? Oh, Turkish Airlines, or Turkish, fine, okay.
No, we do it. We only don't phrase it like that. So basically how the queries in a non-item, and I think, not in ad hoc, but non-item I think are formulated. That's multi-turn retrieval. If we don't go for a full conversation, but conversational search, for example, that's pretty much how you formulate and evaluate queries. Sorry, you provide a bit of information, that people start looking, then it's funny, you know, the microphone people say, okay, nobody finding, and then typically Werner or you kind of says, additional piece of information, you know, like that girl running up the hill to the father towards the flag. Then you provide the next bit of information.
But what is the target? Is it a pure retrieval task, as in find the end of this conversational chain from this example, or is it a
easier to
you need to somehow summarize this conversation into two phrases?
Evaluating summary is super difficult. But most of us did it at some point.
Maybe my example was bad. It doesn't necessarily have to be the outcome of the conversation. It can be the outcome of cooking breakfast on the third day. How many croissants were there? Whatever is that kind of query, right? We make the query something that actually you can identify and you can be pretty sure it's correct or reasonably correct.
Yes, but this is a easy fact finding, and then you could either have a pure value as a result, as in I did something, my answer is 3. I'm not going to tell you how I got it. Or you have to actually identify the crossals and say, oh, show me all the instances, and then I can go, oh yeah, it's 1, it's 2, it's 3. It's actually
the issue at IV or 4B, where one of the teams, actually on and on his team, the guy was guessing the answers. And he guessed it right twice.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Very badly.
Yes.
So you're moving towards like reasoning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Providing evidence.
Yeah.
That's what Trekkie did. You remember multimedia event detection was, and that was what I call summarization. And it was a bit of a blasphemy to call it summarization because it was just evidence. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess you can get to multiple levels. You can just
provide an explanation and say, because I have seen those things on 3 pictures, that's how I can find, or you really provide a list of evidence and say, this is the picture, this is the picture.
Yeah, you can provide a distance at
Yeah.
the times.
That's asynchronous then, isn't it?
Our meta task was asynchronous.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it in a synchronous thing as well if you have a system doing it. Of course, if you do that in an interactive way and you have things that the user reasons that the system doesn't know about, then it gets difficult. Yeah, but at least I mean, I guess it would be interesting to build a system that also can keep this evidence. So basically, that when you provide the answer, you have the things you looked at and say, well, this is the information I used to come up with the answer.
I would like to bring an additional aspect to this discussion, because the Grand Challenge traditionally was always funded by companies, and in a way that they also get some output, right? And even though I fully agree with all of you that we need interactive challenges, I think for the Grand Challenge at ACM Multimedia, we could also maybe do some subtasks like labeling. For example, many people in multimedia are working on food recognition. So it could be a collaborative annotation task also. And then later on, from that collaborative annotation, we could extract metadata and later on maybe use it for the interactive challenges as a ground truth, even though it might not be completely correct, of course.
But as a challenge, if you put it as a challenge, how do you evaluate it? I mean, the challenge has kind of this competition character.
Is that not the hackathon stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's
because
more
let me
hackathon,
get-
yeah.
Let me know what came out of that meeting in ACM Multimedia on the first morning. It was a health-based hackathon. That's what they wanted to do. And we're naturally going to feed into that if we use this data.
I mean, there's
But
some
don't
very
have to,
interesting
right?
things we can do about this. I mean, for example, all of these things have barcodes on them.
Right.
So you can cross-reference this with the International Product Database and know exactly what this was, and then you can track how much of this happens to be
Right.
by applicant. How much of this was consumed over what amount of time, right? And I mean, essentially, it will be difficult to track who actually consumed what, but the methodology would be applicable if you have a smaller group of people. For a health tracking, you can see, okay, what did I actually eat? What is my nutritional profile, just based on things I've seen. This sort of stuff. I think this would be fascinating for a hackathon. It would be very difficult for the Grand Challenge, because how do you evaluate this? Because we are not all secretly keeping track and having around to.
Maybe just one comment to this, because TrackFit also does this part-based evaluation, right? Where they evaluate with some manual effort 10% of the submissions, and then approximate how much there will be.
Yeah, if you do that, for example, with product annotations, and even 10%.
Yeah,
it's crazy amount of work.
So there are some grand challenges if you look at it. The way I kind of participated also in some. The one that we won in New Yorker Melange that was 10 years ago with Monza. That one was brought by IBM, and because they were based in New York, like they wanted to really. This is the definition of grand challenge. We want to show New York using all this wealth of social media data from different perspectives. So competing teams had totally different solutions. Very interesting. Somebody focused on a fashion city, like city of fashion. Recommender systems, location recommender systems, and so on and so on. So when speaking about grand challenges, they have also tradition of these open-ended tasks. So in that sense, what we kind of discuss now as a hackathon could also fit grand challenge.
Right. But there the checking wasn't on individual items whether they're correct or not. It was really on the overall look and feel of the thing.
Okay, so this is the more you have a jury that looks at this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
The look and the feel of the thing is
they
more
essentially grade the creativity and the quality of the output and
presentation also during the conference.
Yeah, I mean, this is also something that would be interesting to do, but I guess this would be 2 tracks within something like this, right? The more qualitative versus the more quantitative.
Well, in that case, there was only the one, right? There was only one track.
There was
of
only
that grand
one.
challenge.
There was only one track. Because at that time for the community was really important to see what can we do. Everybody talks about this social multimedia wealth and so on. What can we do? You know, like let's start moving into building some systems that actually use it for something useful. You know, either tracking fashion trends. Hong Kong people did this, or location recommenders, what we did, and a few other groups as well, and so on and so on and so on. And just like saying here, there are many possibilities. It doesn't have to be really classic computer vision segmentation or detection.
You can also track our fashion. Maybe find out who is wearing the same shirt.
So you changed, you know. And I changed not to be the same as you, and we both changed.
So fashion anti-recommendation.
There's just something that is difficult to handle, especially coming back to the interactive part of things, right?